exciting video today. I have 3 potential UAP videos from the front lines of Ukraine. You may remember this video from March 2024 from the front lines of Ukraine. You may have seen it, but you may not have seen this one. Amazing video. We'll go through and analyze what I think it could be, as well as this interesting video. Cuts off at the end, unfortunately, but we'll check it out. Thank you for being here. Please consider hitting the like button and maybe subscribing for more content like this.
Chris Lehto, welcome to LehtoFiles.
Okay, this is from Artem's briefing that he gave in Hessdalen, experience of the Ukrainian Scientific Research Center, ZOND, in UAP study. So ZOND is actually Ukrainian for Ukrainian Scientific Research Center for the Analysis of Anomalies. It's an organization under the Aerospace Society of Ukraine that has been engaged in the scientific study of anomalous phenomena in Ukraine since 2004, so 20 years. Their paradigm is to study anomalous phenomena using scientific methods and testing theories, trying to add some new info to the scientific picture of the world. And they're quite serious. They're doing basically the whole gamut of UAP investigation. Boots on the ground, theoretical, multi-sensors, looking at actual people, talking to people, witnesses, etc. According to their results, they have more than 700 eyewitness reports reviewed, more than 60 expeditions and field studies, more than 10 books, and more than 150 articles published. Every 5 years, they publish a science journal in both English and Ukrainian. Participate in the creation of 4 films and about 50 TV programs, more than 300 meetings, organized, participate in dozens of scientific conferences and seminars, including Field Trip Weekend up in Hessdalen, Norway, September 5 to 8, 2024. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go through this whole briefing for a video. One point I will touch on is they had an app. They have an amazing app, new possibilities of data collection and processing, the Enyo system and app. So you can download this, and you actually have to have a identification number, state identification number, to download an app. So that's how they know that every citizen in Ukraine can install the application. You can't install more. It has to be paired to actually your ID number. And what's interesting here is people, when they see something, they can go to the app and they can put in rocket, plane, helicopter, explosion, right? But then it gets here to UFO. So they actually have UFO in there, and they get around 30 per day. So it gives anonymous data, but like I said, everyone has to actually have an identification number to even download the app. So at least we know it's a real person. And the number of records about UFOs you can pair to known events, right? So they had here daily, they get around 32 a day, but here they had some additional reporting. And so they could actually say that was probably the second stage of the Ariane 6 rocket. So basically statistical analysis. And then here now they can say, okay, we had a big spike in a UFO report. What is this? Okay, so it just gives another data point, and they're using it. Pretty interesting. Okay, so now we get to the 3 videos. UAP video taken by the Armed Forces of Ukraine on February 24, 2024. So you probably saw this video. I saw it went viral. They calculated a diametric size of 26.5 to 35.8 meters. Height was around 105 meters. So a large object, 100 feet long. Why it is weird. Main factors of abnormality: hanging in one place relative to visible landmarks. Asymmetric, slightly curved object without visible details. And there's an absence of a mover inversion traces, is what they say. Okay, so here's the video. It's the only video with sound, so you can actually hear them talking. Let's check it out.
Не, я в шоу не могу пустить, по-моему, ты что? Охренеть, ни хрена.
Что это за херня такая?
Это тарелка.
Ну, блядь.
По-любому.
А ну, приблизь еще.
На месте склони, ты хочешь?
На месте, блядь, ну.
А в теплак ничего не светит?
его ёбнут.
Так, что не так?
Okay, so they assessed it was 100 feet long, 300 feet altitude. Abnormal because it doesn't move relative to the background. And they zoom in there, so it doesn't seem like it could be a camera refraction. These are taken from frontline drones. So drones just looking over the battle space right at the front lines in infrared. So that's a forward-looking infrared picture as well. And these are at night. I believe most of these, all three, are at night. So quite interesting. If it is a balloon, why is it not floating in the wind? Why is it not moving? And why doesn't it look like a balloon? So that video taken at night, forward-looking infrared from these 4 drones, seems like a genuine UAP. I don't know what else it could be. Some sort of blimp? You know, if you look at it, it's shaped exactly like a Tic Tac, long, cylindrical. So I don't think it's definitely not a drone, definitely not an aircraft. It's not moving. It doesn't look like it's a issue with the camera sensor because you zoom in and zoom out. It seems to be changing. It seems like a real object. Yeah, so I'd say it's a definite UAP. Look at that thing. Crazy. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, let's go to the second video. UAP video taken by the Armed Forces of Ukraine on March 28th, 2024. Artem and his team say it's a diametrical size of 2 to 3 meters. Velocity is 76 to 110 meters per second. So that's quite helpful. They also, in his briefing, he explained that they actually came up with a new way to classify UAPs. In this case, it doesn't come up as a known system. So it is anomalous. The main factors of abnormality: line flights of the object. So they say they flew directly straight. Like with any sort of ballistic profile, it should go up and then down. But this, Artem says, was a clear, direct, linear flight path. So definitely linear. Second reason it's weird is the closeness of the objects to each other. They're quite close to each other and in a definite formation. And then each object actually has spherical or disc constant shape. So that means when you look at it from whatever angles, it is a disc shape or conical shape, what he says. And if we look down here, they actually have an example. Artem put in an example of missiles. So you will see something behind the missiles. Right? There should be some sort of propulsion mechanism. Okay, now to the video. Seems like the same system, right? Looks like the same system. The overlay seems the same to me. So I think it's the same system. Infrared, again, I believe it's at night based on the resolution. So the resolution's pretty low, and that's what's going to happen at night. Your resolution's going to get lower and lower, and you're going to see kind of these pixelations. Here also, you can tell there's a pretty big difference between the hot and the cold. And what we're seeing here is pretty varying temperature differences, different profile of how it cools down from the sun, right? So it looks like these trees, these look like vegetation, and they're going to cool down differently than the surrounding land. Normally, buildings appear quite different, but here we're seeing quite different vegetation colors. So you'll see here, basically coming right over here will be the UAP. I'll hit play now. Boom. Okay, so quite quick there. I asked Artem if there was more frames, and he said that's all they were given. So I'm not sure. I think he was shut down for security reasons. So now I'll pause it, check it out. Okay. So you'll see him entering here, and there's 4 in a line. And what's interesting, they seem to be in kind of another formation, basically. There's definitely a leader. So you have a leader here who's in the front. So it's not a straight, they're not line abreast formation. It's in a linear line. Artem also said they flew in a straight line, meaning not flying a ballistic profile, meaning these are probably not just bullets shot out of artillery, if you will. So going up and then coming back down. They're flying a straight path, and going around was 75 to 110 meters per second. Okay, if Artem's speed estimate is correct, 75 to 110 meters per second, that equates to 145 to 213 knots. First thing I notice is that there does appear to be lines, okay, lines of passage, normally associated with some sort of thermal engine, right, a rocket engine. You're going to see, even if you can't see the smoke, you'll still see the heat right? And at night, you're going to see the heat. Okay, so you see here, it's pretty clear, right? The air seems clear. And then as we just progress it forward, okay, you can see a little mark. And then look at this line here. You'll see this line actually gets disrupted. Okay, so you can see it's kind of blurry now, right? So both lines clear, comes through, a little blurry. So it looks like it is interfering with the air, right? So it's not like a UAP that doesn't impact or interfere with the environment, lack of supersonic booms. So this looks like it's definitely interacting with the environment. At least we can tell where these objects passed through. But the speeds don't really make sense, right? It could be drones, but they'd be very high-speed drones going at over 145 knots. That's quite fast in this formation, but that would mean that they do have a visible sign of propulsion. It can't really be rocket-propelled grenades or artillery like your HIMARS, or the Russians use a BM-30 Smerch. Those things travel at 500 to 1,500 meters per second. And I think they'll fly more of a ballistic profile, right? They're going to be rocket launched and then probably glide to their end target. These seem, as Artem said, to fly a straight line path. So I'd have to say they're maybe some advanced drone system that is flying in this sort of formation. And the Russians just have drones that can fly over 150 knots in a close formation like that. So that's either the case or it's a genuine UAP formation. Either way, interesting video. Here's one last time. Here they go. Okay, and stops. So let me know what you guys can come up with. Seems like either advanced drone or genuine UAP. And if you go back here, Artem said they're about 2 to 3 meters in size, 6 to 9 feet across. So that could be, I guess, a small, fast drone. And then here, if it's at night, they're moving dark, your resolution is going to be pretty low. They may resolve as just those point circles. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay, third and final video now, military UAP video from early 2024, so we don't have an exact date on this one. The diameter size of one ball, 0.25 to 1.26 meters. So much smaller here. You're really looking at 2 to 4 feet across. And velocity now is slower. These are only going 37 meters per second. The main factors of abnormality, according to Artem, are the V shape of the objects. Okay, so the actual formation that they're in, the closeness of the objects to each other. Again, they're flying in precision formation. Spherical constant shape of objects, so they show up as only a ball. Especially this one, you're going to see different angles. It seems like even with low resolution, we should be seeing wings, okay, some sort of change in aspect, and then high speed and coordination. So let's check out the video. Okay, first thing, you'll notice we have a much wider picture. So I think this is the actual recording from the feed, not just a video of the actual display. So here we go, same system. It shows IR, so infrared mode. I believe it's at night and zoomed in to 2x. Here they come. There they go. And then I can't really see them anymore after that. I guess you can see them a little bit as they go over the trees. So this seems like a much darker area. There's no lights out here from what I can tell. It seems like a dark night. We're not seeing the same differences between the vegetation. So it implies to me that it's later at night after temperature has had more time to balance out between the vegetation and the ground. And so if we look at the formation here, it's not perfect. Okay, so it's not flying in a perfect V, where you could say, is it one object, like it's a triangular object with lights on it? But as we see through the video, they'll actually be a little out of formation. Especially right here. It's hard to tell due to the resolution, but it appears like they change formation. So like here, I was able to freeze frame where they appear slightly out of formation. And now they're closer. Again, this guy is a little out. Okay, so in this case, 37 meters per second is 72 knots. So around 75, 78 miles per hour. That is possible for a drone. As they're flying there. So spherical. If these things are really only 2 to 3 feet across, 2 to 3 feet across could be a drone system flying at 75 knots. That's definitely possible. And maybe even that coordination. The coordination's not exactly 100%, right? They're not locked into hard formation. They're actually moving around a little bit, like through the air, or the rotors are slightly off. And then at night, why aren't we seeing some sort of trail here? I think this trail is actually from the lights on the sensor. I think those are maybe elements of ghosting because it doesn't really track exactly the linear path, the velocity vector of these objects, right? It seems like it's a little bit off. And so I think that's actually effects from the camera and the FLIR, etc. If we are far enough away, if these things are only 2 feet across and flying at 75 knots, then they could just be using rotors and be so small that the IR camera can't make it out at this distance. So 227 meters, 700 feet. These things look quite low, so it could easily be, 1,000 feet away at this angle. So at 1,000 feet at night, are you going to be able to see a 2 to 3 foot drone clearly and break out wings? Not like the second video, I don't think. So this video looks clear to me as possible drones. The second video went over, I don't understand how it could be drones unless they're flying extremely fast. They'd be flying over twice as fast as these drones. So are these drones just flying slow in a V formation? And if they're in some sort of line formation, then they can fly faster? To me, I don't know if that makes sense if you have multiple drone systems. Also, the sizes are quite different between these two videos. So this one I lean more towards drones. The other one I still think consider anomalous. I don't know. I can't identify it at least. Okay, but either way, exciting videos coming from the front lines of Ukraine-Russia war. Thanks so much to Artem and his Zond organization. Been working for over 20 years, and thanks for getting these videos out so we can look at them and analyze. And if anything, we know that there could be drones flying around in these crazy V formations. And I still have no idea what this thing is. Some crazy balloon. Happy to hear that there is an organization working with the military closely, and they're actually sharing videos, right? Better than what the US is doing. Definitely. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Really helps the channel. Consider subscribing. And a special thanks to all my patrons on patreon.com/chrislehto. This trip to Hessdalen could not be possible without them, as well as YouTube members. Thank you so much. And please consider helping the channel. Again, couldn't be possible without your support. And in November, I'll be going on The Transcendence of Consciousness, Ancient Egypt Uncovered with Nick Cook, JP Haig, Mohammed Ibrahim, and Ross Coulthart, actually. Thanks again to patrons. Could not do it without you guys. And I will give up-to-the-date, real-time information on patreon.com/chrislehto. So again, please sign up. Thanks again. Have a great day. Peace.